This is Speaking on Songs with Holden Stallsmith and Nate Luxo. Enjoy. Ready? Perfect. Ho ho ho!
Ho, ho, ho is
Merry
right, dog.
Christmas! Ho ho!
Yeah,
ho,
he's doing the
ho,
Santa
ho,
robot.
Ho, ho.
Yeah.
I'm doing the hobo, Tom Hanks hobo from Polar Express, the greatest Christmas movie ever made.
That guy was played by Tom Hanks? That's
Yeah.
so surprising.
He played so many characters, and man, I'm just looking at our volume levels, and that's a lot. But I think it's
It'll
fine.
be fine.
We're gonna
Fix it in post, you know?
Calm down. It's Christmas. We got a Christmas tree. If
It's
you can
right
see
there.
it on the camera, I don't know if it's working yet. If it's not, and you're just listening to us in the car, thank you so much. We love you so much.
We love you so much, and we have a Christmas tree that we're referring to right now. And
It's so huge.
that's
It is like
the
think of
extent
the
of
mall,
our Christmas spirit.
the mall Christmas trees that are super huge and very artificial.
The one that Buddy looks at when
Yes.
Jovi one-ups him on their Christmas tree scouting, he goes, wow. It's like that.
Exactly. All right. So Merry Christmas, man. How do
Merry
you feel
Christmas,
about the
man.
holidays?
I do like the holiday season. I feel blessed to have a good family that can celebrate, and it's all about Jesus. Christmas is. That is.
Amen.
Yeah. I know America likes to add their own things to it, and I guess that's okay to some extent, but it's all
Yeah.
about Christ's birth. I've been doing some Advent, and it's been good for me. How about you? What
That's
do you
good.
feel?
I really like the Christmas time. I've always loved like that old timey 50s 60s kind of style of music, and
Yeah.
this is the time of year where it just everybody collectively kind of looks back and with fondness, or it takes it and like molds it into something new, which honestly recently I've been seeing a lot better quality stuff, not like Justin Bieber Drummer Boy. No. I mean, Drummer Boy, I just hate that song in general. I just don't think it's fun.
What about the one with David Bowie?
None of it's good.
Peace on earth. What are some examples of the good versions of revamping that style?
Putting me on a spot. Anderson Paak, Linus and
Yes.
Lucy.
Which he did with just a snare and
Yes.
a hi-hat, I think.
Seriously?
That's what my brother told me. Yeah.
I need to see the video because I think Spotify records them doing it. But I don't know. It's a really good track.
Lovely.
And it like my mom got so excited when it came on because she loves Charlie Brown and I love Charlie Brown. But
I am
it's
Charlie
an
Brown.
amazing track. That's the one that comes to mind. I was like,
And Leve's Christmas song.
Leve.
That's pretty good. Really evoking that
It's really
style.
good. I love her
Winter
voice so much.
Wonderland.
But yeah, I'm really excited for the holidays, and I think in the bonus episode we're saying this. No, wait, no, we already did that. In the last bonus episode, we made our little mixtape for Christmas music,
Yes.
and you can view that on the Patreon. But I think it should be public. Now that I think about it, we should make that a public thing that you can
It's
listen to.
too good.
Yeah, we haven't made it yet, but
I mean, yeah.
breaking the magic.
Present Nate and Holden have not. We're assuming it's good, but I think
Yeah.
future Nate and Holden will attest that it's a good episode, a good bonus episode that's worth your time. Because that's what we do:
Yes.
is make stuff that we hope is worth other people's time.
And if $1 is too much for you, we're like half joking. Like honestly, you don't have to pay us anything.
Yeah, legit.
You can still listen to it on Spotify. We'll provide the link. And
You get two
yeah.
freebies.
yeah, exactly.
We love our fan base too much. Good problem to have.
We love them. After thinking about like Spotify Wrapped and like this year, this is like a great season, but it's also the season of reflection. It's a season of generosity, obviously, but then we're gonna get into the season of reflection. And I wanted to ask about like, because Spotify Wrapped showed a lot of people what they were listening to and how they spent their time this year listening to stuff. I want to ask like, do you think that you'll listen to music differently next year?
That is a good question. Because Spotify Wrapped and similar. I know that's not the only way to reflect on your music taste, but like similar approaches to looking at it is fundamentally different from how you listen to music. Because like you said last episode about how you could rig it if you really wanted to, but that is so incongruent with the way that we naturally listen to music. And so if you're really going to be organic, looking at everything in one big chart, as awesome as that is fundamentally different from everything. So if that does affect the way you listen to music, I don't know if it necessarily should. Not super directly, because it's not the same. It's like completely different approaches to looking at your music, like how you're feeling in the moment, what warrants that music versus putting it in one static concrete chart that isn't as dynamic as everything that preceded it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, man.
So I don't know if it'll change that much. What do you think?
I think we're gonna get into it because I love vinyl and stuff, but I feel like I've taken that went into the back seat of like listening to vinyl and like albums that way and putting them in the background. I've been a big podcaster, right? Like listening to podcasts in my headphones, and I don't know. I definitely took a pause, and I want to change that of like finding music and like playing it physically.
Yeah.
But also for stream, like I want to branch out into like more be open to punk and stuff like that, or something like that, or
the Ramones.
My girlfriend listened to the episode where I said I didn't know Ben Folds, and she told me off about that. I should be listening or know who Ben Folds is.
It took everything in me to restrain myself against.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm just playing.
I'm a broken man. And, I even saw that on Eric's Spotify rap that he had Ben Folds.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, like number 3, and I was like, okay, maybe I should listen to him because like he seems, like a guy that's worth listening to.
Yeah,
it's like that. Is there any genres that you think you want to give more of a chance?
Good question, because I really wanted to give house a chance because I've always tried to get into it, and I have a good friend who really likes it, and something about my friends enjoying something makes me want to enjoy it, or at least like give it the time of day, like even if it's something that I've been prejudiced against in the past. It was house music in this case, and now Fred again was my third artist on Spotify. So like that was something I did branch out to. Genre I've been neglecting a lot. I think, I don't know, shoegaze and dream pop. I feel like I'm still a big neophyte in that realm. Like I don't really give it that much time or energy or consideration, just because I talked about this a little bit with regards to Slow Dive, because I liked when they kind of veered away from that thick sound, and I think it's worth coming at from a fresh mind versus like I have all these like preconditions of like I just don't like how it sounds, and then that's following me when it really shouldn't.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do you have genres? I know Ben Folds is a good genre, but
Ben Folds. Oh, I mean it's punk for sissies or something like that.
Oh, punk. Yeah. Oh, that's where that thought came from when you said punk. Oh, yeah. I got you.
On also being okay with what I like and liking some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Like I think last episode I talked about the 1st of October. I like that stuff.
Good stuff.
But like sometimes I'm like I'm not gonna add this to my playlist because it's a little weird, but that's what kind of why I like it, and being more okay with that. I think like I started listening to what are they called? They made 2 albums. They have the ties with the different colors.
I know what you're talking about. Tally Hall, yes.
They're great.
Yes.
But they're very punk-esque too. Maybe I just need to give punk.
Give punk a chance.
Also, we've been in a Creed renaissance lately.
Goodness. Yeah.
And I'm kind of enjoying it a lot. And I think I could give them and bands like them, like Pearl Jam and Nirvana's like a stretch, but like I can't think of
it's grunge. If you're considering Creed grunge, that's not.
Yeah, I think
just a stone's
Creed's
throw from
definitely
that.
not too grungy, but like that era of music, I can definitely give them more of a shot.
Pearl Jam's the weird bridge between those two bands, I think.
Yes.
I think that's very apt of you to say.
And that's how I'm gonna listen to music.
Yeah.
A little bit differently. And I think we have a little transition into our big old topic.
Because we do want to expand on the idea of vinyl and what that means in music industry and music taste.
And just express about something that we love. Kind of what we want for Christmas.
High key.
It's all tying together in this beautiful present with the beautiful big old red bow.
Beautiful.
Speaking of presents, we made a challenge for ourselves and we went out and bought vinyls for each other.
We did.
And yeah, I think the price tag's still on mine. So.
I think mine's still on mine too.
Wait. We both said that we had vinyls that we were going to buy for each other,
Yes.
but we decided not to.
Yes.
I will tell you mine.
Okay, mine will only make sense if I show you the vinyl directly after.
Okay, I can tell you what I was going to get you. And it was just too expensive. And the reason it was too expensive because it was an audiobook, seemingly from like a children's book, narrated by Jack Nicholson.
What?
Yes. And it was like this animal thing. I need like an elephant something. And maybe I should look this up. I'm looking it up. I'm going to find it.
Look it up.
Here, I'm going to put my microphone down. You talk about stuff.
Okay. I was at the record store looking for yours, and there was one album that I looked up just because the cover was hilarious. It was called Just Arrived! By the Pilgrims. I couldn't find it, but it was there one time, and I listened to it, and it's not great, but it's so funny. It's these three like singers dressed as pilgrims on a boat, and they're like looking up. It's a weird aerial shot, and I think covers are so funny how they can entice you to listen to stuff.
I can't zoom into this properly.
That wasn't the one that I didn't get you, but I didn't get that one either. Just Arrived by the Pilgrims, I think.
It's called The Elephant's Child.
Oh, okay.
Look
Is this
at
like
that.
Noah's Ark? I see 2 elephants.
I have
3
no
elephants.
idea.
Wow. Oh, man.
Yeah, and Jack Nicholson did this, and I kind of want to buy it. I might
That's
go
awesome.
back. But yeah, should we exchange? Do you want me to give you your vinyl first, or
I'd kind of want to give you yours first.
then do it?
Is that okay?
No, but you can do it.
I don't know how
You
to
should
feel.
do it.
Okay. So we both really, this is what I didn't get. We
Yeah.
both really like Joni Mitchell a lot.
Oh, I love
And
Joni Mitchell.
are still lamenting her departure from Spotify over reasonable grounds, but
Mhm.
goodness, I keep saying that woman was like the third of my music taste. That they just took her out.
She's amazing.
She took herself out.
The only one who could.
On her own authority, she left Spotify, and we've had to deal with it. But a good way to deal with it is buying physical copies of her music. And so I wanted to get
Yes.
you Blue, because I think that's both
Oh,
of
that
our
would've
favorite
been
albums
way
by
too
her.
nice.
But I was like, okay, what if I got something that was kind of blue?
What the heck?
So I got you Kind of Blue by
Oh,
Miles
crap,
Davis.
it's Miles Davis.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is a really good jazz album. I think. I
think I
actually
agree.
don't know. The songs on this is So What, Freddie Freeloader, Blue and Green.
Yes, Blue and Green is great. And they all blues. That's
All blues.
an excellent one.
Flamenco sketches.
You got John Coltrane is on this album.
I loved John Coltrane.
Yeah.
He goes That was Giant Steps.
That was really cool.
Thank you so much, dude.
Of course, bro.
This is a good. This
Sorry,
is
I
a
couldn't
really
get you
good
Blue.
gift. Man, mine sucks compared to this. It's the Christmas time, and I wanted to celebrate your Italian heritage.
That I don't have?
You don't have Italian. You don't have Italian heritage?
No.
Anyhow, I wanted to get you. Christmas in Italy. Christmas in Italy.
Oh
Wait,
my
we should have shown
goodness.
this. We have a camera. This is mildly.
This is Christmas in Italy.
And I saw the grandma and the two kids.
Oh, there's a
Very
grandma
Italian.
supposedly feeding lasagna to a girl, and there's like is this a fruitcake? What is this?
I think, no, that's got to be a dessert. It's got to be chocolate and bread.
I thought fruitcake was a dessert. This is
Yeah, it
amazing,
was.
dude. This looks like a candid photo. Like, it looks like someone just, like, it doesn't look like models or anything. Like, they just
Yeah.
took a picture of an Italian family. It was like perfect.
But yeah, this is this vinyl I found, and I thought
Lullaby to
I knew.
Jesus.
I'm gonna be honest. I knew you were an Italian, so that's why I thought it was really funny.
This is so good. I love it. Oh my goodness. All my favorites, like At the Light of a Star and Melody of Love.
All the good stuff.
It's
There's
eclectic.
Italians.
Oh my goodness. There's some good art on here. Look at that. That's nice.
It's decent.
I'm
Yeah.
excited to listen to this. I don't have a terrible amount of Christmas albums. I have like a few, but
So
this,
now you have something to play
I
during
need
the
something like
holidays.
this, like to increase the span. That's amazing. Thank you, dude.
Merry Christmas, man.
Merry Christmas, man.
Man, don't we love vinyl so much?
Indeed.
Why do we like vinyl?
That's a great question. Off the top of my head,
Yeah.
I feel like there's something about owning music versus renting it. Remember, there was like a big thing about when the idea of streaming services was starting. People were like, I can't remember who said it. This is gonna bother me, but there was a dude he made like a video that was like, you rent an apartment or a car, you don't rent music. And then that's literally what we're all doing with
Yeah, we are.
Spotify and Apple Music and everything like that. We're basically saying we get all of this like on a monthly basis. And when you have vinyl, it's like finally paying that off and like getting it. It's obviously not on the same scale because when you subscribe to a service, you're getting unlimited songs or whatever the exact number is. And
About
the
5.
vinyl probably. And with vinyl, it's like inverted because you're paying more to get less, but it's that specific artist that you're supporting. It feels like there's more personality, even though you get your personality with like Spotify Wrapped. There's like, here's what you listen to, here's what you can attach your taste to. When you have like a vinyl collection or something like that, it's like you went out of your way to get this. It feels like it makes it more of a, obviously literally more tangible, but even more figuratively tangible, like expression of what you like.
It's a very tangible thing. I like that word of like
I'm
something that you can
Christmas
physically.
in Italy right now.
Oh my gosh! Like, listen, you could easily have like found that on Spotify and like listened to it that way, but it would not have the same effect of having it physically. And
You giving it to me too.
yeah, there's also that physical thing of like you have to work with it. You have to play it. Like we we don't want to discount CDs. CDs are a thing that like you can pop in and you basically have the power of what we have with streaming in a way where you can like skip. You can choose a song that you want to play and you can rewind and play that song again and again. Vinyl's very like this is you set the needle and you play it'll play each song going all the way to the end and then you have to physically flip it over. It's this weird like that doesn't sound fun at all, but I feel like it's you working with the music, you like actually working on something that you care about, like that tangible thing, and you're helping it play the music that you love. There's like this relationship that you kind of make there. I went on a weird route on the
You're
dome,
right
but
though. Like if you're listening to something on Spotify in your room, you're not the only one doing that. That music is also in someone else's room.
yeah.
Undoubtedly. Unless it's like Familiar Horizon, then maybe you're listening.
What the heck? That's my band. Don't listen to it.
Please listen
Or
to
listen
it. They
to it.
made
It's
my
fun.
Spotify Wrapped. But there is still the possibility that you're the only one listening to them, like statistically. Whereas if you have a vinyl, even if they're the most popular band ever. No one is listening to that record like you are. So I think that's a good point you're making about like a relationship you're establishing with the music versus something that's just dished out and rented. To put it reductively.
Yeah. There's also a thing of I've been in this little thing. I'm a computer science major right now, soon to be graduated, hopefully. But I've been kind of liking having separate machines of like things that do other stuff. Like I still have an analog clock. I have an analog watch that I'm not wearing.
Exhibit B.
I also just like having a separate machine where that plays music, where that is the thing that plays music. Like I could so easily have my one laptop that I record this podcast on, that I have connected to Bluetooth speakers that I can listen to anything I want, headphones that I can, listen to the same thing. It could all be on one machine, but I like having it like pieced out together. And I think people might also like it, having a separate music box that they can also interact with their music.
Because like the more that one thing does in modern times, like the more it's appreciated, like anytime you can combine things and like save, sometimes it's about like saving room or space, but sometimes it's about like saving convenience or whatever. If I can have one thing that does all these other things, then I'll be happier and I'll be accomplishing those things all at once versus separate ways. So kind of taking a break from that, taking a step back and saying like, nope, this does this exclusively and that does that. That makes sense.
Yeah. I have one more thing about vinyl.
Take it away.
With it being physical and something that Spotify, kind of loses is the artwork of it.
The artwork, yeah.
Yes, that is a big factor where like we love how like artists kind of like can go off on their like albums, how they like double LPs, how they open up and it could be a completely different thing. There could be secrets on there.
Yeah,
they could really like invest on the art of that and what their album looks like, where with Spotify, it's this little tiny box, like the smallest it could be, and you're kind of losing something there. That rightfully, Spotify, it's not kind of important, but when it's vinyl, it is important, and it also includes in this relationship that you have with your vinyl that you get to enjoy it. This other aspect that it could have, that music could have, is like the visual.
That's a good point. And you can see the details of the artwork and everything way more.
Yeah. The amount I've stared at that like Fleet Foxes artwork.
There's so much going on.
There's so much and I love it.
Jam packed. Yeah. That should be like our Q&A thing is like, why do you like vinyl? Like when we do our on Spotify. Yeah. We want to hear your thoughts too, because we're speculating why other people like vinyl, but we gotta ask.
Use the features on Spotify and talk to us. Stop being scared.
Because we love you.
Yeah.
Good cop, bad cop.
Sure. We do love you.
Yeah. Wait, I've got a question. You half answered it by mentioning Fleet Foxes again, but like, what are some of your favorite artworks on Spotify? And this is the challenge because most people are going to be listening to us. Like, yeah, like if there's great packaging, like then obviously you think more highly of the physical release. But if there's like a artwork on Spotify that captures your attention, what would you say?
Now saying that, I actually remembered that like Spotify has like improved on that area of like when you're listening to a song, you can see like either a little bit of the music video.
Yeah, the canvas thing,
which I don't like, but I like when it's actual like the canvas and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And they do something cool with that. Coldplay did a good job with that with parachutes. How it's actually spinning and stuff like that. Spinning. It's very simple. I also liked Spider-Man. Spider-Verse. What was it? No, Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse. No, the first one's Intro. The next one's Into?
The first one's Into, and then the second one's Across.
Across. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Could not
I think
remember.
prepositions are their dependent variable.
But they had like special effects where it would light up a different color. I think they
Yeah.
did that with Black Panther too.
Yeah.
So they're changing their UI, but
Yeah.
that's still with those examples, the latter two, it's still like the UI. It's not the actual, like you're getting a relationship with Spotify, not the actual
Not the
art. Less so of the art. You're still getting a connection. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking of the ways that physical releases vary from the digital ones because, like, for instance, Tyler, the Creator with Call Me If You Get Lost, that
Yeah.
physical release looks awesome. It's like, it looks like a painting, and he's in his whole, like, Tyler Baudelaire get up, and he has, like, suitcases. There's a boat in the background, which he talks about boats so much on that album. And then the digital release is just, like, his driver's license. Like, it looks like I don't know. It's kind of minimalist. Yeah. But the converse of like what I was actually asking of like a vinyl that isn't as good as like what Spotify shows. Like the one that comes to mind first is When the Pawn by Fiona Apple, because that vinyl release is just a red case that says Fiona Apple on it, I'm pretty sure. And I'm like, that doesn't make me want to listen to the album. And that's like my favorite album of the 90s, top 1 or 2. And yet the one that's on all the digital releases and the CDs and stuff is like you see her face and it's the whole title like broke a record for the longest album title. It's like a big poem she wrote, and I think that's so awesome. And if that was the vinyl release, then I think it would do a lot more justice. So in that sense, sometimes streaming can be clutch and be like, hey, this is what the art could be, but sometimes it's the opposite.
But was it because of streaming that they decided to have it more so that way, and then they took it easy on the vinyl because they didn't care less about it because it matters less?
I don't know, because I think that cool cover, that the one I know, is from like the CD release. So I think that it came out in 1999. So I think they had the choice of like, okay, we could just do the vinyl release, or we could use the CD one that has the whole title and a picture of her. Like,
Yeah.
it's a little more enticing to listen to.
What a great question. Speaking of questions, well, yeah, it's Christmas season.
Yep.
Yeah, a little Christmas season. We iterate that a lot. If you, top 3 vinyls that you would want under the Christmas tree. Santa Big Beard comes down the chimney delicately because he's holding 3 vinyls. Which ones are they?
Delicately.
I mean, he doesn't want them to shatter.
I've seen a lot of stuff about the Awaken My Love vinyl by Childish Gambino. Supposedly that's like one that he put a lot of detail into the packaging, and so I think that'd be a good one to listen to, because that's a good album to hear all the way through. Like, I wouldn't mind listening to just that one. It's pretty short, and I think like reading the liner notes and lyrics and stuff while listening to it, because it can be very psychedelic and abstract. I think that could be like a cool grounding experience to like really think about all the detail he put into it.
Nice.
And I want to hear some of yours in between. Can we alternate? Can you give one of yours?
We can alternate like we usually do.
Yeah.
I thought went to the super deluxe remaster of the Beatles Revolver.
Knew it. Yes.
I like, I might actually go. I might want a Beatles one, a Coldplay one, and a Fleet Foxes one. Honestly,
Okay, that's
I think,
hilarious.
Which is what
It's
what
all
we've been
tying together
exactly
in a bow, like you said.
Exactly. Oh wait, no. I want the super deluxe of Revolver. I would want Blonde on Blonde,
Bro,
by Bob Dylan. What an amazing album.
that is. I just listened to that yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
It's so good.
It is. That's one that, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
This is a conversation.
But that's an album where like the first half has so many bangers that like just burrow into your brain, like
Yeah.
Visions of Johanna, Sooner or Later, One of Us Must Know, I Want You. All of those songs are so good, and then I kind of neglected the second half. The second half is just as good, if not better.
Yes.
Every song. I know you love Fourth Time Around.
That was my that was my number one track. I listened to that so many times, and
lovely.
it never disappointed.
It's the second last one, I think. It's like
Yeah.
the penultimate. It's right before Sad Eyed Lady the Lowlands, which is one of his best songs. It's all about his ex-wife. And then if you listen to Sarah right after it, he mentions writing Sad Eyed Lady of the Lowlands. Like those two songs go together, I really think. But that second half is so powerful, and he like really hones a lot of the sounds that aren't like as acoustic as the first half, I guess. Like I feel like there are a lot more sounds going on in the second half. I could be wrong. I know I just listened to it yesterday, but I was working, so my attention was a little divided. But the part that was divided to Bob in the second half of that album, I really appreciated.
Nice.
That'd be a great vinyl.
That'd be a great one. Are you copying me with that, or?
No, I'm just commending your choice.
All right, you've only said one so far. I've said two, so you gotta catch up.
I'm behind. There is an album called East by Joanna Newsom. And Fiona Apple is my favorite artist, but if I couldn't say her, I would say Joanna Newsom is my next favorite, and she's not on Spotify. Yeah. As like an like her dissent against their like payment of artists, and I really like getting physical copies of her albums, but I don't have a physical copy of East yet, and I think getting a vinyl of that would be really nice. Can I show you the cover?
Why don't
Can
you
we look
it
it up? Pull it up. Pull it up, brother. Pull it up. It's really
we were greeted with Elephant's Child's
Elephant's
cover.
Child, narrated by the Jack Nicholson. No, not the anime series, the album. So she looks like a princess on this album cover.
So cool.
It's so bucolic and pastoral and synonyms. Look at all the detail in that, like the folds of her clothes. It's like a Renaissance painting that's also like a trillion different eras at once, and there's like stuff going on in the way background. The focus is still on her, but then it kind of drifts around. All of her album covers are like that, really.
Yeah.
Except maybe Divers. But that would be, I could stare at that album art like while listening to her like harp playing and her amazing voice. That would be a really fun vinyl, I think.
I'm gonna cheat.
Okay.
There's a lot of vinyl I want, actually. But something that's always been on my mind, and there are two of them, and I don't think I'll ever get either. I don't know if they'll be printed at all. But either the Minecraft soundtrack or the Stardew Valley soundtrack on vinyl.
All right.
If they ever get reprinted, I want to nab them because they're great for the background. Yeah. And I just love those games and the soundtracks that they made, and it's just really good stuff to have in the background. Just really good music in general that gets overlooked.
Yeah, well composed. Like it feels like it goes to the background while still rewarding if you do give it your time. You know, like you can listen to it intentionally and in the background at the same. It feels like
they're great compositions too.
Compositions, good words.
All right, you got one last one.
Counting Crows, my favorite album by them, which is also 1999.
I need to give them a chance.
You will not regret it.
Oh my! There's been one song. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
It's a conversation.
But there was this one song that was stuck in my head that I barely listened to. It's probably on the Shrek
Accidentally
soundtrack.
in Love.
What's a problem, baby?
Yeah, Accidentally in Love. You've heard another song because they played Have You Seen Me Lately on the Bear.
Oh,
and I freaked out watching that with my roommate. Yeah, because I was like, this is Counting Crows. Yeah, I'm always doing that when there's nothing that crazy about them playing Radiohead or Counting Crows.
Yes.
It's kind of par for the course for them.
So what was the album?
It's called This Desert Life, and it comes from like not a throwaway line, but like a really brief line in one of the songs. And that is one of the best sequenced albums I think I've heard, because there's like, it starts out with Hanging Around. They played that at production before. That's the one that's like, I'm hanging around this sound corner. I've been hanging around this old town so long. You want me to keep going?
You have to finish the
No,
song.
I'm just And then it transitions beautifully into Mrs. Potter's Lullaby, which is like a 7-minute
I've listened to that.
odyssey.
It's
I
good.
love that song. And it works so well to have it
Yes.
right after Hanging Around. Because there's like that barrier, like I talked about in the Fleet Foxes episode. Even though that song's still representative, it feels like it rewards patience. I guess it's a little bit different in that sense.
It's very Bob Dylan.
Fair.
Like esque.
Yeah.
Of like the 7 minute like jam sesh with like, you know, thoughtful lyrics.
There's like still a point to it. It's not like he's meandering by any means, you know? You're
Yeah.
not like, okay, where's he going with this? It feels like it's 7 minutes because he needs that much time to get his point across.
Yeah.
Like Mrs. Potter is a complex character, you know? All these different like each verse has like a different focal point that all works together. Like I love when he says there's a piece of Maria in every song that I sing. Like I feel like putting that at the beginning of the album, then you get to hear the rest of the songs and be like, huh, okay, what angle is he approaching this from? And I can't describe how well it flows from one track to the other. So that'd be one that I really want to play front to back. And so vinyl would definitely encourage doing that. And then there's
Yeah.
a hidden track on the last song that Spotify lists as a separate track. So I'd like
That's
to finally
so
hear that
cool.
as like a hidden track versus the 11th on Spotify. It's called Kid Things. And it's them just joshing around in the studio, and then they start singing the song, and then it goes back to them messing around, and you're like, it feels like you're invading their privacy. It's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
funny, but I would like to hear that in its original form of like listening to, what's the last one? St. Robinson's Cadillac Dream, and then that turning into Kid Things versus 2 separate tracks.
That's so cool. Man.
Good question.
No problem, man. I mean, we gotta give people a chance to buy us stuff for Christmas. You know, you notice
was the
that
point.
a lot of people. I do the same thing where it's like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And you're like, "I don't want a twist, John." But in a weird way, that's not being generous.
Right, because
It's
you're
not-
just blocking their good ideas.
Yeah, you're not giving them ideas, and they want to care for you well. But also in the same vein, if you asked me what I wanted for Christmas, I don't think I'd know what to tell you. Actually, what am I saying? I just gave you 3 ideas.
Yeah, hence why we're doing this.
Oh my gosh.
As far as what we've already got, what would you say are some of your favorite like thrifts or steals of vinyl that you've gotten?
Steals?
Yeah, like when you're like, oh, they don't know what I'm getting.
Brother. I will say it used to be Rumors because I got that for $7,
Gotcha.
which is kind of normal now that I think about it. And like,
$7 for Rumors?
yes,
That's a steal.
very good quality.
That's a heist.
One of the really good albums. Really good albums.
A banger machine.
I got Stranger by Billy Joel for the Stranger. Sorry,
Drop the.
$5 or $6.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. But my best one by far. Stevie Wonder, Inner Visions,
Yes.
$4.
That's
That is
Criminal.
criminal. Yes, it's criminal.
How-
That might be his second best album.
I'd say first, but
First?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's his. That's when he's in his element. He makes me like not. He makes me realize how much I don't appreciate so many faculties of life by listening to that album. I'm like, this
Yeah.
just opens my whole world.
It's so good. And I got that at the Exchange, which has a good, decent like vinyl section.
Yeah,
Which is
true.
weird because it goes like vinyl, movies, and then video games. It's all just that focused of like media, which I guess
You
makes sense.
wouldn't think you'd get a $4 Stevie Wonder album from the place where my former roommate got a truckload of Skylanders at one point. You know.
Yes. I'm from Pennsylvania. I've never seen an Exchange.
Wow.
My bad.
Well, here you are now.
Before you answer this question, I wanted to bring up there's this one artist that I really like, Louis Zong,
Louis Zong.
something like that. He does stuff on YouTube, but also just constantly pumps out albums and EPs, and they're amazing. Usually instrumental, but he'll sing and stuff. But he has this series of like Goodwill, like Goodwill vinyl beats, and he'll go to Goodwill, find some vinyl, some random stuff that like you would never pick up, and he makes new songs out of that. He mixes and matches them.
That's sweet.
It's really good, and I encourage everybody to go check it out because it's definitely worth your time.
That's cool. Like turning something into something else, just from creativity, nothing else.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like I'm missing a word for that. Remixing?
Remixing? Well, sampling, kind of.
Sampling. It's sampling.
Is it sampling?
Sampling, yeah.
That's what
it is.
Twami. There's this producer from New York named Twami, and he's also really prolific. Like he'll drop. I think he dropped at least 3 projects this year already.
Really?
2 of them are really good, if I remember correctly. And he
That's good numbers.
like
That's
if I could drop 3 projects in a year, 2 of them are good, I'm doing fine. But he drops low-key constantly compared to the drought that we experience with some other artists. And he had this one thing that he did on a YouTube channel called Record Roulette, I believe, where he was like blindfolded and got a thrift store record and was like, all right, I'm making a beat out of this, whatever it is.
That's
and
so
it
cool.
was amazing because he like included some of the process of how he did it, of course, and just seeing how much of it comes from his ingenuity versus what song he's starting with. Like obviously he takes a lot of care into what songs he's choosing, and it's very intentional about what songs he's turning into his new beats, but he's also just that good of a producer that you can take something random and you're like, oh, this is him. This isn't that he had good ingredients and he's making a good dish. Like he's just a chef.
Man. And all that from thrifting a little vinyl.
Thrifting.
Speaking of which, what is your greatest thrift? Your steal?
My greatest thrift is also a Billy Joel album like the one you mentioned.
Nice.
Although The Stranger was the first album I ever owned. The first album I
Cool.
ever bought was Glass Houses.
That's really good too.
And I vividly remember like putting that on the record player. It was $5, I think, at the exchange.
That's good. That's good.
And I just remember hearing the like you maybe right started, and I was like, this is fantastic. That album is good from front to back because he's just having fun.
Yeah.
I never realized how much fun he's having because he's always able to have such like introspective and like deep songs, like on Turnstiles and The Stranger especially, where you're like, oh man, he's getting really deep, and then he'll have such really fun songs elsewhere. He's good at balancing that, and Glass Houses I think is a good one to listen to as an album versus the individual songs. So there are great songs, like You May Be Right and Don't Ask Me Why. Do you know that one?
No, I don't.
Don't Ask Me Why is about like him seeing through this one girl's like facade that she's like upper class or whatever. So like even when he's having fun with like a random song where he starts speaking French or whatever, there's a purpose to it. It's all about class, and you're like, okay, he's just doing a lot on that album, but it doesn't feel like he's setting out to do anything. It's not like a magnum opus, and yet he's still casually being a genius. I love it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I think that's my best thrift.
That's amazing. So yeah, we might be done here.
I think we just wrapped it up.
Yeah. So I just want to say I think this is the last episode that will be for the year, and then it's gonna be the new year because we post on the 6th, I think.
Yep, January 6th.
Yeah. So I just want to. Oh, it's also we're posting this on the 23rd. 2 days.
Christmas
before
Eve.
Myth. So Christmas Eve of Eve. We just want to say that starting this podcast has been an amazing time for like this year, and we're so excited to see what this podcast is like next year. Definitely gonna have way more experience because we started it pretty late in the year, but we want to wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas, and we hope to hear from you and hear either your feedback on the show or hear your opinions on things we discuss in the show, or just totally original opinions. Feel free to, like, that conversation's open to you as well.
And I know we're gloating about like vinyl, but like I hope you get whatever you want music related too. If that's an instrument, gift card for Spotify Premium. I don't know if they do that, but like Apple Music, CD,
8-track.
8-track, yeah. I just keep listening to music, guys, and enjoy what you love. And also just try and share that love and do your best job to give to the people that you love something that they would love and appreciate because it came from you.
Amen.
Yeah. All right, we love you guys.
Yes, we love and appreciate you.
On 3, we're gonna say Merry Christmas and
do we have
to all
do that?
To all Christmas good night.
Okay.
You don't like this. Just say Merry Christmas and good night. Ready? 3. Do you not want to do this?
I'm fine. Yeah, let's do it.
3, 2, 1. Merry Christmas and good night.